Welcome to the Nordic Mythology podcast. I'm Daniel Farrand, owner of the company Horns of Odin, and I'm joined, as always, by Dr. Matthias Nordvik.
Hello, everybody. I hope my sound quality is all right. I'm on my iPhone instead of my internet because it's America and things don't work here. This time we're joined by Emilie Lorentzen. Hello, and welcome to the show. And tack for sist, by the way.
Tack for sist today. Yeah, it was wonderful to meet you again.
Yeah, in Seattle and
Portland. Yeah.
Oh, did you guys meet up recently?
Yes. Yeah, we had two rituals, one in Seattle and one in Portland. And Matthias decided to come for both of them because why not?
I don't feel left out at all.
Oh,
my little lips come out now. look like that little gif of the little boy, like this goes, like puts his head down and looks sad.
Yeah, the meme you mean, or the gif.
One, I think was the second one was a bit of a spur of the moment. I was going to Portland anyway, and you guys invited me to come down there, and then I went and got tattooed and got in the car, and then drove all the way and showed up with a bloody tattoo,
with a bloody arm.
Oh, how very metal of you, Matthias.
Very metal.
That was very metal.
Full metal.
Go on then. What did you get as a tattoo? Tell us.
I got the whole thing right. I'm getting a cover up of my let me see, my embarrassing 90s tattoo. So
nice.
There you go.
Yeah. Of course, it's a dragon.
It's it's I think it's a Ringerike inspired dragon. So yeah,
very cool. Very cool. You seem to be getting quite a few lately.
What?
Yeah.
You seem to be getting quite a few tattoos lately. You're gonna,
yeah. I mean, they just like they tend to multiply, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any?
Well, I recently got my first tattoo.
That's right.
Yes, and I don't have a feeling like it's gonna multiply. We'll see. But I'm very, very happy with it. It is the perfect thing. Like, I of course got a petroglyph from Bonhomian, from the island that I'm from.
Oh, nice.
And it is a sun wheel, like this very beautiful sun wheel with the dots around it. That's from Bonhomian. It's the one that also, a lot of people use it in their art, and it doesn't get less beautiful from it. It's amazing.
It's pretty.
Where did you have that done?
I had it done in the Netherlands at the Drakkar Tattoo by this Frisian woman called Elbrich. She is
nice.
She's hand poke artist only, and just a lovely person and incredibly talented. So it's really nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You don't think you'll spur to more?
I don't know. I don't think so. I really love it, and it's so perfect that maybe it just is what it is. And then I think just because I have so many freckles now, maybe people can't see it so much, but I have like freckles all over the place. Then that are kind of like my natural tattoos in a way. You know?
Mm-hmm. So you were saying before we started that you're in the backstage area. Is it where you're performing this evening?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm in LA. We just woke up in LA. We had been we've been traveling down from San Francisco, where we performed the day before yesterday. Day before. Yeah, tour life. So we just woke up in LA and have our buses parked right outside of the Greek theater in LA, and I just walked in here, and it's really cool, and I think I don't know if I'll ever stop being impressed by the places that we get to play. It's really, it's really humbling in a way. It's like, whoa.
I've loved seeing some of the venues that Maria's been posting on Facebook, and they just seem to be getting increasingly more beautiful as the tour goes on. There's some stunning places.
Yeah, really, and not only like stunning how they look, but also stunning how they work and the people who work there and how passionate they are about their, their place of work and how proud and stuff. So it's really cool to see. Because I think sometimes people forget, about the crew, of part of the performing arts. It's they put just as much passion and love into it as artists do. So it's pretty cool.
Do you think that the crews or the people that work at those venues give a better service because they're a stunning venue and they're proud to be there, rather than maybe at just a generic kind of concert hall or
that can be a thing. Yeah, maybe it can be a thing. But I've also been at some venues that are like quite in a way, let's say derelict in a way, like maybe not on this tour, but other times, where they are quite old, but they're trying to keep them, really well tended for. And then what they are proud about, or what they love about it, as I've heard and talked to them about, is more the history of the place and the the people who performed there, or the historical events that happened there. So it's not always just aesthetics, of course. Sometimes it's like also other less tangible things, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think there's more pressure to put on a bigger performance the more history there is to a place? Or
I don't know. I mean, for me, I think it's like mainly the difference that is because if it's a very fancy venue, like for instance the King's Theater in Brooklyn, or the Masonic Temple in Detroit, or the Paramount in Seattle where we performed, it's like these really grandiose, or whatever you say, venues, then I feel like putting on my apron dress and my fancy jewelry, because I have two different stage outfits. And I have to, you sweat through them in one show. So so that's maybe the biggest difference. Otherwise, like energy wise and like being present, or then there's no difference really. I don't feel the difference.
I mean, the Paramount was a really cool venue. It was, golden on the inside. That was pretty dope.
An old what?
It was all golden on the inside.
Oh, yes.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
For sure.
Do you have a favorite that you've been to so far?
Well, I think maybe King's Theater in Brooklyn.
That's the one that stood out for me picture-wise.
Yeah.
That I saw. I was just like, that place is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, aesthetics wise, definitely. And and the people who lived there were also not lived there, worked there, but maybe also lived there.
They probably feel like they do sometimes.
Yeah, I think so. But they were also incredibly proud of it because it had been sort of derelict for a while, but then a lot of money was put into making it, like renovating it properly. So they were super proud, and that the city was taking care of it in a way.
I'm curious about the Masonic Temple in Detroit. Do you have a bunch of like old chubby dudes with like those little red fez hats walking?
Yeah, teaming with it. Yeah. No. No, I think it wasn't used as a Masonic temple anymore. So unfortunately, they were just your regular lovely crew people. And
maybe after dark though, when you've all left,
you never know.
That's usually when the fun happens.
They come peeping out of the crypts and it was an incredibly like impressive and also strange place. I mean, to me, it's like all of these weird, not gargoyles, but kind of on the outside, and lots of course, the what is it called, the pesa and the eye. Pesa, what is pesa?
Compass.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is a type of and then the eye, those Masonic symbols everywhere.
I don't really know what Masonic is. I'm not gonna lie.
The Freemasons.
Oh, okay. The Freemasons, I know that.
Yeah. So it's a Freemason temple. Yeah.
I'm back on board.
So how long has been I know the show in Seattle was sold out. That's sort of like also the situation for tonight when you guys are playing in LA?
I don't know actually. I think I don't really keep à jour, or whatever you say. I don't really keep updated with that so much because I mean, sometimes someone will say it like, oh, it's sold out tonight, or oh, we're at whatever 90%, or we're at 80 or something. And but I mean, of course, it's very cool when you sell out. I mean, because it brings in more money for everyone involved. But yeah, but it's not that important to me.
No,
not to sound all like I don't care about this thing. But I mean, yeah, as long as the people who come there are happy and in it, then it's amazing.
Yeah. It was more my segue to talking about the fact that you guys sold out in 45 seconds in Thailand for your next tour.
Yeah.
That's,
you're such a professional. You're such a professional now, Matthias.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
130 episodes and we are just seamlessly into the next thing.
Look at you segueing like it's nobody's business.
It's the first segue of 130 episodes.
Nice. Yeah, well, we did, and this has been like on the online now for a while. And, we sold out in 45 seconds, and I I still can't really believe it. I'm like, nah, something went wrong, somewhere, whatever.
Yes.
But yeah, it seems to be confirmed, so that's pretty cool. And that's because it's a part of the world where we just haven't been yet, of course.
I would have even thought there would be a market for this kind of music in Thailand and kind of the Far East, I guess.
Why not? I mean,
I don't know. I just never would have. Which is probably my ignorance that I just would never have thought that a market was there for bands like Heilung. I don't know whether Vodrun have ever been out that way or not, but I don't know. It was just kind of like a part of the world I just assumed weren't that into this music.
So actually in Denmark, we have this curious thing about bands. When it's sort of like it's ambiguous because it kind of implies that you didn't make it in Europe or the US. But it's something that comes from the 90s when Aqua was a thing, and they became like really popular in the Far East. So then we talk about them as like big in Japan.
That's also an English expression.
It is.
Well, yeah, right? Because there's a Tom Waits song called "Big in Japan." Have you never heard this one?
You can sing it if you want.
I don't know the whole thing, but it's just like I'm big in Japan. That's the whole thing. That's the whole
it's just
chorus.
like 3 minutes.
Yeah. Just
many English speakers use it though. At least
Maybe
not. As often as Danes do. So yeah.
It's definitely one I've heard. It's not one I would say that I use often, but it's like David Hasselhoff being massive in Germany, isn't it? Isn't he like a big singer in Germany? I'm pretty sure he's like
maybe he was. I don't know if he is anymore.
Or maybe I'm talking about like 10 years ago, but I'm pretty sure he was like massive in Germany for like one or two songs and nowhere else in the world. Yeah, David Hasselhoff.
Oh, he's definitely still following in Germany.
Oh yeah?
That's a thing. It's a weird thing, actually. German.
Yeah. Well.
Isn't his big famous banger like "Come and Jump in My Car" or something? Like that's his one big song. Is like "Jump in my car."
The one that
the video where he pulls up to people and he's like, "Jump in my car." I'm sure that's the David Hasselhoff song.
Nice and cringe. No, but
he's probably driving Kit from or a version of it because of copyright reasons. It's like a Kip.
I'm not very well versed in the David Hasselhoff lore, so
apparently I am.
We need to beat up on that.
David Hasselhoffian, yeah. No,
I'm pretty sure his big song is "Come and Jump in My Car." I might be wrong. Maybe someone can Google it in the chat, but I'm pretty sure
I have heard one that's called "I've Been Looking for Freedom." You heard this one?
Oh, no.
I've been looking for freedom. You know, they were...
Sounds very American.
Yes.
No, I haven't. But I can just imagine he's got an eagle on his shoulder, and
I'm sure he does. I'm sure.
and
Yeah.
an American flag in the background, and he's
Yeah.
waving and it's just waving perfectly in the wind.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He did make a heavy metal song at some point too.
Are you kidding me?
Too, if you dare.
Not sure I do.
Oh no.
No. Okay, but yes, big in Japan.
Yeah. We're here to talk about your music project, Morsmor. And we are really excited to hear more about that. So let's take it away.
Yes.
Yeah, you're launching pretty much right about now.
Yes, I mean, I believe, when we're recording this, it's still a little ways away, but, when it comes out, I think it should be around the time. And it's really exciting. It's, it's the first time I'm releasing anything just myself as a solo artist. Now I have musicians with me, but it's very exciting. And it's for anyone who doesn't know or hasn't heard my single Elverhøj, which means Elf Mount, then it is an EP of Bonhomian folk songs, and Bonhomian is like from Bornholm, the island that I'm from and where I grew up, so it is some folk music that I feel doesn't get enough attention as it is, and not only the folk music but also the dialect. Because, I'm a linguistics nerd. You've talked to me about this before. We got into some nice rabbit holes last time. So I've been very passionate and sort of deepening my knowledge and my own skills in the dialect over the last, 5 years or something, 5-6 years. And because it's like a lot of other dialects in the world, it's dying out. It's not being used by the young people anymore. And so I grew up speaking it a little bit, maybe more than I even remember, actually. But then when I became sort of a little older, 11, 12, teenager-y, it just disappeared so quickly because Copenhagenish, the Copenhagen language was the cool language, and was also not only the cool one, but also the educated one. And that's been happening, for a couple of generations. I believe my mom would be slapped in the face if she spoke Bonhomian in class, and luckily that didn't happen to me or any of my peers. But it's pretty rough when you're as a kid being told your dialect is farmer language, it's lower class.
Oh, okay.
Sounds stupid. Those kinds of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is my constant battle with the Norwegians and Icelanders. They're always like, "Oh, you guys forced us to speak Danish." No, the people from Copenhagen has been forcing us all to speak
Copenhagen. Yeah.
So
it's being subjected to it too.
No, but this is the thing. It happens all over the place. I don't know about. I mean, if we're talking about European descendant languages, it happens so much. Like, it is really so strange. It's this linguistic colonialism. I don't think I understand it, but I think it's a type of, it's a type of control, and it's a type of leveling the playing field in a way. Like, if everyone understands this one dialect, then it's easier to communicate with the whole country. So it's not only a bad thing, but why can't we just be bilingual, all of us, and know the main dialect of the government, and then also our local one. This, I think, would be the most beautiful thing. But
I mean,
maybe too late. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something that starts proliferating with the. I mean, you already have it back in the 1700s and 1600s, of course, but really becomes a thing among the lower classes, the peasantry in the 19th century with the proliferation of the school systems, right? So you have these teachers that are educated in, facilities that are dominated by the language in the capital, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then that precipitates to the rest of the population, and then at some point you also have like this, these value attachments, right? Where all of a sudden you sound stupid if you speak, hillbilly Danish like me. Get mocked in when you go to Copenhagen, those kinds of things. And so naturally, it just makes people feel bad about the language they speak, and then they stop speaking it.
Of course they do. And it's not strange at all. I mean, when you say that the teachers were all educated in Copenhagen, in some university in Copenhagen, I'm sure even if the teachers came from somewhere else, they come to Copenhagen and they are surrounded by Copenhagenish professors, then of course they're going to speak like that. And it's the same in any other countries. They're going to adapt their language to sound smarter. And then they're going to go out and do the same. What just happened to them, they're going to do that to the people out in the provinces. And it had been happening continuously. And then, I think the last generations was my mother's, people who were born in the 50s, I think so, but so from the teacher side, but I think it's mainly because they didn't really have to do it anymore, because the dialect was already almost gone. So and it's a funky thing. I mean, it's for me as a linguist, it just kills linguistic diversity, and I think it's really sad. Of course, language is a tool, right? So as long as we can communicate, then it's doing its job. But if we then go into the more artistic, not only artistic but also emotional part of language, then I think it's a loss. Yeah, also spiritual.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Then it's a loss. Yeah.
I wanna throw out some props to an old college teacher I had back in the day, Lis Norb, who was from at Aarhus University. She came from the dark parts of Jutland, and she always spoke her dialect. It was amazing to sit and listen to her lectures, because it was just like a lot of like really thick Jutlandic dialect, and nice. She did not.
No, but this is the thing that is, that kind of stuff has always really impressed me. When someone just like, I'm gonna keep talking like this,
I'm sure this has been explained to me many a time on here.
Sure.
What's the difference between a dialect and an accent?
So a dialect has actually specifically different words. An accent only changes the inflection and the pronunciation of the language. So right now I am speaking English, but with a Danish, accent, right? So that is the only thing. And then so a dialect would then be something of, when you were talking English, then a dialect is something like, I guess maybe yours. I'm sure you have interesting words in Yorkshire that are not being used anywhere else.
Yeah, probably. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest one that everyone says, like Ibagum, and like coit. Like would be coit for. See, we change words for like. So they would say coit instead of coat. So I don't know if that classes, because it's a big difference in the word.
It is a big difference, but that's the thing, that this is the question then, because now it becomes complicated.
Oh, I've got it. Can I find there's a good list of, this is a fun game we could do.
Please find it. Okay. So this is where it gets complicated, but this is the question. It is a linguistic then discussion whether it is a different word or it's just a different pronunciation. And I think it depends on who you are, actually. I'm sorry, but it just becomes like whether you understand when someone says, "Oh, can you get my kite?" or you think like, what are you talking about, your cut or your whatever, like if it's understandable to someone else, then I would say it's a dialect. But if it's not understandable, if it's understandable, then it's an accent. But if it's not understandable, it's a dialect. But it's like such a small boundary.
I think so. The Yorkshire dialect will be completely dying out. You don't hear it much anymore. And I pulled up a list of ones of my there's a list of old dialect that has disappeared. And I definitely want to see if you guys can see what they mean. Me and Alyssa did this one day, and there was a few that she was just like, not a fucking clue.
Okay, go ahead.
Matthias, what were you going to say before? Sorry.
I was just going to ask, do you guys still use barn instead of child up there?
Oh, Ben. Sometimes a Ben, like Ben. Yeah. Sometimes, and then people will say like kid for like but that's for like brother or sister. So like my kid brother would be.
Oh yeah, kid sister, kid brother. Okay,
my kid brother would be like, just like our kid. So they'd probably say like our kid is like our kids and my brother.
Funny.
That's
how fun.
Of like a dialect difference there in vocabulary.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna throw some easy ones out. Well, let's say easy. Okay, so one would be bereat.
Okay, use it in a sentence.
It's all gonna be right.
Oh, it's all gonna be right.
It's all gonna be right.
It's all gonna be fine.
So then the other one was like A up, which I said before, which is like A up.
It's fine.
Like what's up, or
like A up, as in like it's kind of like a greeting, like hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
Hey
Nice.
up.
Nice.
Oh, I love this game. Chuffing. This is a fun one.
Is it being chuffed about something, like being happy?
So it's more like an annoyance at something. If it's like, I'm gonna. So it's the way of using it instead of using like the F word. So you'd be like that chuffing. Like, let's say if Rocco was barking next door and I was a little bit annoyed, but I didn't want to be like that fucking dog. You'd be like that chuffing dog. So
nice.
I'm gonna have to remember when I teach this.
Okay. This one's fun. A lug-all. So if you need to clean your lug-all.
Your lug-all. Is that your bag?
L-U-G apostrophe O-L-E.
This is a toilet.
No, it means you need to clean your ear.
Oh.
A lug-all is...
Lug-hole?
Well, it should be lug-hole, but we don't pronounce H. We don't pronounce H's. So we say
I'm saying it shouldn't, because you don't pronounce H, because that's correct in your
or like you get a clip around your lug-all, which is,
I love that. What the fuck is that? I have to figure out where does that come from? Lug, okay.
So put wood. If you say you put wood in toil.
Put wood in toil.
Put wood in toil? It means like close the door. So you put in the wood in the toil, which would be a hole. So you put wood. You're putting the wood in the hole. And put wood in toil.
Put wood in toil.
It means
put wood in toil.
Close the door, because you put the door in the hole. It's so.
That is so good.
There's some. I don't think there's. I'm doing this. I'm trying to find the fun ones. I mean, things like note is kind of obvious.
That's nothing, right?
Yeah.
I've heard that before. Yeah. Note.
Oh,
so e by gum, as I said earlier, is like, that means like, oh my gosh, like if it's a shock, it's like e by gum. I just we say things like reet good.
Yeah, reet.
As in good, or sithe. So
sithe.
So if he's like, you would say like sithe.
Okay, so something like see you later, or
Yeah, so like see thee later.
yeah,
These are
nice.
we have. I never. For me, when I read these to Alyssa, I was like, these are just normal to me. Like these are just sayings that I know. So the last one would be like sling your hook or sling your hook.
Sling your hook.
So,
Or
yes,
what?
sling your
Like,
hook.
say what you want to say.
No, it
No?
means like get the fuck out of here. Sling
Oh,
your
really?
hook. Get out.
That's so nice.
So like sling your hook, get out.
Yeah. Cool.
It's it keeps reminding me of these things. So I'm currently renting a place in a place called Skelmanthorpe, which is where the lady female Doctor Who is from, actually, just for anybody who's into Doctor Who. But Skelmanthorpe they shortened it to Shat, which is very odd because to a lot of people, Shat means to shit.
Yes.
But they call it shortened to Shat. And apparently it's because a lot of the workers here used to work in the stone mine and they used to shatter. They'd be called shatters because they shatter the stone. And the area would then be known as Shat. And I always wondered as a kid growing up why it was called Shat. I'm like, no, that's a bit of a funny word.
That is really funny.
And apparently, let me tell you, it's when me and Alyssa were researching it, it said that it was Old Norse. It comes from Old Norse part of it apparently.
Shatter?
Yeah.
Or Skelmanthorpe?
I'm not sure which part it was. Let me see.
Thorpe is a suffix that is very active in Scandinavian in the late Viking Age and early medieval period as like farms.
Okay, I've got it here. So it says the village was recorded as Skelmanthorpe in the Doomsday Book. The name itself derives from the Norse personal name Skjaldmar and Torp. Thus having used the meaning outlying farmstead of a man called Skjalmar.
That makes sense, yeah.
You have like a personal male name attached to Thorpr, as like, and it's literally because of demographic shifts in the Viking Age. You have more people, and there's also something to be said for perhaps like new developments in division of land. So they're actually like there's a new tendency to give land to more inheritors, and that's how you get those outlier farms. And now, of course, it also has something to do with the wheel plow that's being introduced at the time, so you can better plow land out there. Before that, with those plows that didn't have wheels on them and were also a little more rustic, I guess. It was pretty difficult to penetrate a lot of the clay lands that you have in North Europe.
You know how many innuendos you just laid down there with plowing,
penetrating.
It's way too early in the morning for me to understand those kind of things. Well, okay, it's 11, but
this is my afternoon already.
yeah, sure.
I think it's time for a beat.
Yeah, it's past 12.
What's that saying that I feel like it tends to be like ladies that lunch have when they're having prosecco in the morning? What is it like? It's 12 o'clock somewhere, or like it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Like that's the typical one that gets said. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is.
Let's
let's try to get. We got many places, but let's try to do that because that's the thing, that so all these dialectical things, like we just had this little game talking about the dialects and we were all fascinated, or I don't know about all of you listening, but I was very fascinated.
Hopefully.
And yeah, I think so. And I mean, it's someone loved it. Oh, nice. So, but anyways, that's the thing about languages. It brings up those small dialects. It brings up so many feelings, and especially the Bonhomian dialect for me, of course, because I grew up around it. I mean, my mom is like native Bonhomian, and my dad is like more from Zealand, which is the other, like the main island or whatever of Denmark. So I grew up with both, right? Both sort of Copenhagen-ish and then Bonhomian. But my mom also kind of would stop speaking the dialect when she was around my dad's family, and it's just a natural thing. You want to feel connected, you want to fit in, right? But so that means that I heard it mainly from my mom when she would sing me lullabies as well, also sometimes in the dialect, or just, tell me stories about her dad and the stories that he used to tell her and these kind of things. And then when I was around my mom's family, so that's where I learned it a little bit. And that's also how I've been able to learn it again, because I've just been like, okay, insisting on speaking the dialect with my mom. If I talk to her on the phone, if I go visit her, I try to just insist on speaking it, even when it's not about something easy peasy, not about something funny, actually about something serious, something emotional, something spiritual, whatever it is. And that has just made my dialect go up, and made me feel more at home in it. And that's when then, because I got a job when I was still studying linguistics. I got a job as like a student helper on this project, which is called the Bonhomian Dictionary. So it is, there's been a lot of dictionaries made, the latest in 1908 or something. But then now they wanted to make an updated online version. So I got to help with that. And therefore I had to sit and read the dictionary and make sure that everything was recorded perfectly by the computer. And therefore I got to read so many of those incredibly funny and lovely words that are in the language, and also the history of them, because then the dictionary would say, oh, and it's like this in Icelandic, or this in Jutlandian, or this in Scanian, South Swedish. So would also put the connections with the other Scandinavian languages. So it was just super exciting for me to look at that. And that then inspired me to be like, oh, wow, what if I could actually feel confident enough with the dialect myself to sing it and to record it. And so when Corona hit, then I had time to do it, to really invest in it and get some recording gear and, a nice microphone and whatever you need.
Yeah.
And then I started slowly. And the first person I called to help me with it is this violinist who lives on the island, and he's been playing folk music for many years. I mean, he's, I want to say 70 now, around that age. And has been.
Sorry to interrupt quickly. How big is the island? Just so people get an idea. Because I always, when you said Bonholm, I always thought it was like just your family that lived there, but I guess not.
No. There's like a little less than 40,000 people.
Okay, so it's substantial.
It's middling size, I would say. I always just say small island because it's compared to like Zealand or Fyn or other islands.
Yeah, when you said small island, to me, I always just thought it was like, a smattering of people, or like just a few. Yeah,
a fishing village where everyone wears sweaters.
Yeah, that's what I thought. A quaint little thing. And then as the conversation's gone on, I'm like, this sounds like actually quite a big island.
Yeah, no, it is.
This guy's a violinist.
Yeah. So but the violinist. So I contacted him, and I mean, he plays in like symphony orchestras and stuff, and then also folk music. So, and he was very excited about the project, and so that kind of gave me more blood on the tooth, as we say in Danish, to keep doing it, like more ambition or whatever, to keep working with it. And then I found some more musicians, some really cool musicians who've been working with this folk music for decades, and I'm just can't even begin to tell you how humbled and honored I am that they actually wanted to be part of my project. You know, my whatever newfangled version of Bonhomian folk music. Even though, I mean, I would say actually it's keeping with tradition while still trying to put a modern twist on it, I guess. It's hard to define, but anyways, and then I found she's one of my really good friends, Fieke. She's from the Netherlands, and Fieke van den Hurk is her name, and she has a studio, and she's a sound producer and an accordionist as well, really good. And so we started working together on this project, and it all sort of slowly over the whole Corona period came together. And yeah, so I released a single here in August called Elverhøj, and meaning elf mound, and it's a very well-known folk song all over Scandinavia, actually. The story of usually a man, I think always a man, who goes out riding or walking in the forest. Then he gets tired. He lays his head down on a green mound, and then elves appear and dance around him and try to lure him into the mound. And in many versions, it is quite clear that the elves are malicious. They're trying to get him into the mound for him to sleep there forever. Or in the Danish version, Herr Oluf, they actually curse him so that he arrives dead at his wedding, isn't it?
Yes, I think yeah.
Yeah, he just arrives dead on his horse at a wedding. Very macabre.
How sinister is that?
Yeah, not nice elves. Yeah, well, these are elves as in elven ladies that are the same size as human beings. This is definitely the feeling I get from all of the versions I've heard.
And are they female?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they are being described as female, and in the Bonhomian version, they are like the elven maid is described not as an elf. It's only actually the title that's called Elverhøj, and in the rest of the song, she's only described as a maiden in Jomfru, basically, like so a maiden, and then she comes and tries to, say, like, if you come into the mound with me, I'll give you gold, and I'll teach you to be as fast you can catch a hare, and you will be strong enough to bind a dog, and you will never long for home. And then what happens is what is different from the other versions of this folk song is that when the rooster crows, they disappear. This is the same as the other folk songs, but the protagonist of the Bonhomian folk song is very sad about it. It's like because the chorus of each verse is, "Oh yeah, hvor blev hun nu?" And it means, "Oh yes, where did she go?" Like this beautiful elven maid who's promising me gold and like all beautiful things, and she brushes my hair, and then she just disappears. What? And I just love that. I just love that version of it.
What a tease.
Yeah, seriously. Then just one rooster crows and she just buzzes off, Too bad.
But I mean,
yeah.
Like one of the cool things about Bornholm is that there's still so much folklore there. There's still there are still the elves, hanging around, at least in like the minds of people. Like where, most of the rest of Denmark, people have forgotten about all of that stuff, but it's still very much alive on Bornholm. I think it makes it a really special place.
Yeah.
Historically, it's also a very, very interesting island. I mean, for those who aren't aware, it's located closer to Sweden and Poland than mainland or main island Denmark, at least.
Yeah.
So it's also sort of a little isolated in that sense from Denmark, at least, not from Sweden and Poland, for that matter.
No, but still, I mean, in the olden days, I guess it was also still quite a journey to go from Bornholm to Sweden. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
today it takes with the big catamaran, it takes an hour and 15 minutes, but with a small with a wooden boat or whatever, I guess it would take a little bit of a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know how long actually, like a day, I don't know, half a day, depends.
Probably. Maybe
Yeah,
something like
but something like that. So it's not something you just go back and forth every day. Also because the sea there can be a little bit treacherous sometimes. But yeah, so it's an interesting place in that way also. And I think dialects are always interesting. But I think, to me, of course, I'm not biased at all, but I think the Bonhomian dialect is more interesting than the other Danish dialects. No. But just because it has been so isolated for a long time, that it has a lot of elements of Danish, but mainly it has elements of East Nordic, right? East Danish. No, sorry, East Danish.
Yeah.
So because all of Denmark and southern Sweden was all the East Danish area. Like if you take not all of Denmark, sorry, the peninsula is West Danish, and then you have the islands and Bornholm, right? Southern Sweden. So it has that
with like a weird cut in the middle of Fyn. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
If the Swedes hadn't killed off the Danes in Scania in the 1600s, then you could find similar dialects there.
Yeah.
They've mostly been replaced with versions of Uppland dialect, I guess.
Yeah, and it's just really interesting, and you can still see the connections to some like Scanian and other southern Swedish dialects with the Bonhomian dialect. But it's all, I think it's all just happened like crisscross. There's been trade, there's been traveling, there's been intermarrying, there's been all this stuff going on. So it has a very Danish basis, but the sound of it is much closer to Swedish. And other Bonhomians will probably not like me saying this, but it just is true. There's such a thing as a dialect continuum, as it's called. And it's just true, and doesn't make it less special or less, whatever it is. So, but yeah, anyway, so so that is what I started doing, and then now around the time where this comes out, the whole EP will come out, and that is a collection of 5 songs. So the single, and then 4 others, and one of them is close to being a cappella. There's just a drone under it because it is it's the herding call. So like you've heard about the Swedish kulning, right? So that's a herding call to call the cows home. And if you've ever heard kulning, like how it has been done, not only as a feature on a song, but actually to call the cows, it's not always that beautiful. Like it sometimes it really like like it's not just like this airy fairy stuff. It's really like and this is the thing. So the herding call that I have recorded has mainly lyrics. It's only lyrics, whereas some Swedish ones are lyricless. And it's called Herdriviem, and that Hö is a Bonhomian word that basically means the same as hey or ho or something. And the rest of Danish doesn't really have it, as far as I know. I've never really heard it. Just like we have hej, but it's a bit different. I don't know, because we also have hej in Bonhomian. So Hö is just like ha ha ha, like come. And driv hjem just means like drive on or go on home. And it's really cool because, so first of all, okay, yeah, it does. I think it's more than being beautiful. It's more demanding in a way. And I haven't really sung like that on a recording before. Not that I've recorded that much, but still, just it was a little. I had to really just will myself to sing like that. also because, I don't know, it's like sometimes when you grow up and you sing a lot like I have, there's a lot of pressure to always sound pretty.
Mhm.
And it's very nice to break out of that. Heilung has helped me a lot with that. There's not only prettiness in Heilung, so it's very nice. But anyways, but I love that song so much because the first time I heard it, I found it in this collection of folk songs that this guy made in like around the turn of the last century, like 18 to 19. And he made this whole collection. He went out to the farms and wrote down the songs, just like the Brothers Grimm did with the folk tales. So we're very lucky that he did that, because otherwise they would have probably disappeared with the industrialization, with the onslaught of it. So, but I saw it there, and then I realized that actually someone else had recorded it before, and that was really cool. It was this couple called Henning and Anne-Katrine, and they've recorded it in a very beautiful version, and I got very inspired by that, so I wanted to record it as well. And and it's lovely because I thought I should try it in the field to see if it actually does something, it actually works. And I figured out that so far, at least, most cows that I've met don't really care.
Oh, I was hoping I could drive through the Yorkshire Dales with my windows down and have it playing, and then just be like the Pied Piper of cows.
Well, it depends, because there were some, I think they are a type of Highland cattle or whatever, like they're at least they're white, and then they have this black spot here on both sides. I don't know if they're like really fluffy, very cute, but they were standing around on the north of Bornholm in the island when I was there. And I sung this Herdreviem to them, and they did look at me, and one did come. So I'm like, okay, it worked a little bit.
Okay.
But sheep love it. They are like, and just like ran towards me and were just like, yes, we're ready for bed.
So maybe someone got the animal mixed up, or you were like
no, but I think it was used for both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was used for cows and sheep, all livestock, I think. But I just love that to try it and just sing it, and then those sheep were just like coming over to me, like, yes, we're here, yeah, okay.
So you might have to release this with a disclaimer when you release the song.
Yeah, like
don't play it around cattle. Yeah,
don't play it around cattle. You might get how do you say? Angrebel.
Attacked.
Attacked. There we go. Yeah.
Stampeded.
Lovingly attacked by hungry cattle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's really nice. And yeah, then there's a couple other songs. I don't want to tell about all of them, but I wanted to tell about that one. And and then I have one cover actually.
Oh.
On the EP, and I think I want to keep it a secret until it comes out.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's really nice. I got the idea on a whim to translate another Nordic song into Bonhomian.
Nice.
And because I just felt like it sort of felt right.
Mm-hmm.
And I translated it with the help of the guy who's the head of this Bonhomian Dictionary project. He helped me with it. It's really cool, and to get it to sort of match the original lyrics well, and yeah, it's really cool.
Nice. Look forward to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel an extra pressure with it being, because you're obviously proud of being from Bornholm and doing and singing these folk songs? Does that add pressure to you, kind of putting that out into the world, your kind of rendition of these?
Yes. I mean, I have a very strong feeling, though, that most people on the island and other folk singers or people who work with the dialect or just are proud of it, that they are also just mainly just happy when someone tries and does something. There are naysayers and critics. I've already had a couple of those.
Oh no!
But that's okay. That's okay.
Fuck them. Fuck them.
But I think when it comes to dialects like that, people get it's so emotional for them.
Of course.
Especially people who have been speaking it their whole life and just seeing it dwindle and disappear. And
then they should be happy that you're trying to do something to bring it back and put it into the.
Yes, but I don't know their life story or whatever. It could be that they just because they love it so much, they have this very strong idea of how it should be, and then they feel like what I did is wrong and is more creating problems than helping. But it's not. I mean, honestly, it's like a couple of people. I'm not. It's not a lot. It's really not a lot. Mainly, the reaction that I've gotten is just joy. A lot of people saying thank you to me, where I had to cry because it's really beautiful. If I can be a part of a movement to try and keep this alive or revive it even, I mean, it would be amazing. If I can inspire younger people or more people my own age to try and work with it, or make their own versions of it, or whatever they want, because it's theirs. Folk music belongs to people.
I hope you inspire a new generation of Americans to learn Bonhomian.
Yeah.
They are learning more.
Sure.
You never know what's going to catch on.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to catch on.
You never know.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, I think we're getting to probably time where you're going to need to go.
Time
I think.
Flies.
I had an idea from earlier from doing the dialect, and when you said blood on the tooth earlier has been a Danish saying, I was curious if you could think of any more that was specific to Denmark, because when me and Alice had this big talk of, which I think is fascinating when you really speak to people from another kind of country and culture, of like different phrases that you would use for things that I find bonkers. So for example, one that she had was like walk around the porridge, which would be to like beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Like walk around the porridge. That's fucking mental to me. What do you mean walk around the porridge? That's insane.
Well, it's actually like this is in Denmark we say like the cat walking around the porridge. Like a cat around the warm porridge or the hot porridge. So I think it's a cat who's like walking around and waiting until it maybe can eat it, or there's nobody looking at it. Because I think when we think of porridge today, we think of just like oats, oatmeal or something mainly, or barley porridge or whatever. But I think the type of porridge they're talking about is probably one that has some ham in it or some bacon or something,
That's another thing that I find insane. Like savory porridge. We don't have that. I don't have
used to be a big thing.
You used to have savory porridge. We all used to eat savory porridge in Europe.
In that a lot.
Corner of Europe, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the easiest type of food to make, really. So
I still fuck it up. It's either too runny or too stiff.
What other good sayings do we have in Denmark?
I'm trying to think.
We have all those weird curses, right? Eddermame and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. And that is may poison, like mane my, isn't it?
Conjure.
Conjure me.
Or so the word edder, which in Icelandic is eitur, is really interesting because it's associated with ice, it's associated with poison, and it has some kind of weird association with the underworld as well. So so there's probably, this is probably something that references the underworld and and something like that. So, may poison conjure me, or
may poison conjure me, and kraftedme, which is may cancer eat me.
Well, power. I think the power of the devil, I think it is referring to.
Oh, is it? Yes, because I was not sure, because it seemed like such an old thing that cancer wasn't really a thing.
No, I don't think
back then.
Yeah.
Well, not mentioned as such, I think.
Yeah.
But okay, so
may the power of hell consume me.
Yeah. So that's something you would say, like, if you want to say, I don't want to do that, but then you want to put an extra emphasis on it, then you say, I may power of hell eat me, don't want to do that.
Okay.
And
you really do not want to do that.
But you can also add more to it. Kraftedderperkme.
A kraftedderperkme, and yet what is that?
I think I do not know what the hell pack. But yeah, so
there's a lot of funkiness.
It's so fascinating.
But I just had one. Oh yeah, someone commented. I saw a comment pop up with Ulver i mosen, but that is so that means, I think that's Norwegian, meaning wolves in the bog. But in Danish we say Uler i mosen, and that means owls in the bog.
Oh,
so and that means if something is amiss, like there's something up here. Okay. Then you say, there are owls in the bog. And I think it makes so much more sense if you're talking about wolves, because who gives a shit if there's an owl? Like, whoo, like what?
But this is actually kind of interesting. You find in some place names in Denmark the confusion between wolves and owls.
Oh yeah. Well, someone just commented that it is also owls in Norwegian.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't know. With something about the owl, also something, they are not what they seem.
They're very wise. Yes. They're wise little. They've all got a little monocle. Every owl.
They do.
They just pull it out from under the wing when they need to investigate something.
Yeah, but they're up to summit.
Like, why are they in the bog?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, something weird's going on if all the owls are in the bog. To be fair,
it's true. They're having a parliament.
Yes.
They're having something.
Yeah. It's called the Parliament of Owls. You know this, right?
Yes.
Or that is at least, what it says on the internet.
Dialect på isen.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yes. There's no cow on the ice.
There's no cow on the ice. Do you know the continuation of that one?
I do not. No, please enlighten me.
The continuation is, der ingen ko på isen, når 2 ben på land. Like, there's no cow on the ice when 2 legs are on land. So if your cow only has 2 legs on the ice, it's not a problem. It's not going to drown if it falls through. Okay. So, but it just means there's no cow on the ice. Huh?
Is that like don't fully commit, or like sitting on the fence type thing?
No, it means don't worry. It means don't worry. So it says, there's no cow on the ice. Don't worry about it. I know it looks like it's going to shit, but your cow still has 2 legs on the land. There's still something that can save you.
But it must make a difference if it's the front 2 or the back 2. Because I feel like if it's the front 2, it's going in head first. If it's the back 2, it might
depends on the steepness of the bank,
I mean, what if it's the side 2? What if it's 2 on the side?
Then you're fucked. It's a weird saying. I don't know.
That makes a lot more sense. Right? Because we've shortened it down, so we just say there's no cow on the ice, and nobody knows what the hell that means.
I know. Okay. I know it sounds like it's a problem if there's a cow on the ice, but still, I mean, why? Whose ice is it? Whose cow is it? What is? But it's if it's your cow and 2 legs are still on land. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Let's wrap it up on that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was as fun as always. You're welcome back here anytime.
Thank you.
We always end up going down some rabbit holes, and on tangents, but it's always good fun.
Yeah.
You're welcome back at any time you find time to come join us.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Please do.
Yeah, it was really lovely talking to you guys.
Yeah.
And when does the EP come out?
On the 12th of October.
On the 12th of October. Everybody
Yeah.
go and listen to it, stream it. Can they buy it? Can people buy it? Or is it
Yes, on like iTunes and on Bandcamp as well. If you go on Bandcamp, you can find it just under my name.
Yeah, go and buy it. Support you. You're one of my favorite guests we ever have on here because it's just it's always so much fun. You're as lovely in person as you are on here as well. So thank you very much for your time, and I wish you all the best this evening with the concert as well.
Yes, thank you very much.
And I wish all the best to Maria, Chris, and Kai as well from me and Matthias.
Thanks. Yeah, I will.
So,
okay.
Matthias, Emma, where can people find you?
Oh yeah, so I think a good place is probably either on Bandcamp if you want to follow what I release, and then also on my Instagram, which is just emilielorentzen.music. Or I also have a Facebook page. It's just Emilie Lorentzen artist page. I think I named it now just to separate the two. So yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Matthias, just the usual Matthias Nordvig on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm not that exciting. So you can find me on Instagram doing my madness. You can also always check out my website, which is just my name, matthiasnordvig.com. I have recently been let into the fold at Cult Nation, where I will start writing things about bands and festivals that I go see, and also stuff about the occult and Nordic stuff. So that will also be a possibility to find me there in the future.
Nice.
So
congratulations.
Thanks. Sounds fun. Obviously you can support me, Daniel_Farron1 on Instagram or Horns of Odin.
Daniel_Farron1.
I got told off for this. For saying it too quick.
Yeah.
Daniel_Farron. What? Maybe that's why I don't have as many followers as Matthias. No one can hear it because I just speak too fast. I'm glad you pulled me up.
No. The thing is that you only otherwise find me on Instagram. That's why. So people.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm going to stick to. I'm going to think of that. No, but if you can, please support us on Patreon. Obviously, it's the best way to really help support the show. I think we've started getting a back catalogue on there before they release to the public. So I think we're 3 episodes ahead. So if you get up to date and you want more, you can jump over on there. This episode will go on there 2-3 weeks before it actually releases to public. So that's a perk now, and we're going to be adding more. Matthias, I know you're going to be doing some educational bits, and we're starting to add more content on there. And obviously you get all the story times we did with Jonas. He must be fun around the fire at Christmas. He must put on a performance.
Oh yes. Since he was a babe, I don't know, but since he was 4 and I was born.
For as long as you know.
Serve him, yes.
Yeah.
Well, that also brings me to I've been getting a lot of questions regarding the rune lectures that I'll be doing both online and in person through Ritual Craft in October and November. A lot of people have been asking if it would be possible to access recorded versions, and we are going to put some videos, educational videos on runes on Patreon as well. So that's an option if you miss out on the lectures that I do. So
cool.
That's hopefully generate a couple more Patreon supporters.
Okay, let's get out of here. Thank you very much.
It was really lovely.
It was a pleasure as always.
Yeah, for sure.
Take care. See you later, Matthias. Thank you for everybody who joined. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.